Mr. Harmless here, and we are looking at a very specific situation. And that situation is when you have a right triangle with an altitude. Now, if you have a copy of this paper, it doesn't look like this. It probably looks like this, right? And notice there's the right triangle is this one. So I'm going to put this right there. This is my right triangle. So when I say a right triangle with an altitude, I'm talking about this right triangle. The altitude is this line going straight down at a right angle. But notice when you draw this, it creates another right triangle here and a right triangle here. So there are three triangles in this shape. Now, the interesting thing about when you draw an altitude in a right triangle, when it goes from the angle, the right angle, down to this hypotenuse, when you do this, it creates these three triangles, and these three triangles are all similar to each other, which means they all have the same angle measurements, and their sides are going to be proportionally the same. So notice I've copied these three triangles, and I've put them over here. So notice those three triangles sitting a different direction look like this. Okay. Notice there's the big one, here's the one on the left, and here's the one on the right. So these sides are going to match up in a way where it's proportional. Okay. So for example, this original triangle, if I were to label it, notice the original triangle, and I can move these out of the way for a minute here. Right? See, ABC is my original triangle. If I want to label these when it's sitting this direction, notice B is where the right angle is. BC is this shorter side here, so I'm going to put a C. And then A is over here, ABC. So it's the same triangle, just sitting in a different direction. Then if I say, okay, well, I'm going to put this triangle. So the green triangle that's sitting right here, notice it's ABD. But if I want to match these up correctly, notice the D is where the right angle is. The B is at the end of this shorter side right here. And then the A is over here. And finally, I've got my little red triangle here, and let's put it back up here in my picture. Okay. And notice it's triangle BDC, but if I want to match them up, notice the D again is where this right angle is. The C is down this shorter side, and then the B is over here. So notice that if you have these three triangles, right, and you sit them all facing the same way, you can figure out how they are similar. So now I know that triangle ABC is similar to ADB, and that's similar to triangle BDC. So if you're able to visualize this and draw those triangles separately so they have the same orientation, then it makes it a little bit easier to identify what is similar to what. Okay? So that's what you're going to do in problem number 1, and hope that you can figure this out. And if you have any questions, let me know.